This is the Tree of Life. Season 1, Chapter 9. In this episode, we will be talking about the role of telegony amidst archetypal consensual females and epigenetic plasticity in new or changing environments. As explained in the last few episodes, spatial non-consensuality is characterized by a more plastic epigenetic state, characterized by more genomic plasticity. This makes spatial non-consensual actors more responsive to new environments, or changes in the environment. Spatial non-consensual actors can be generated by archetypal consensual lines in response to a psychological process of othering further to the goal of creating new lines. But spatial non-consensuality is also an adaptation in and of itself, because it makes an individual more genetically responsive. In the last episode, we talked about how there are more unconventional redistribution methods corresponding to a passing of territoriality than within a lineal structure. The idea was that an archetypal consensual line can pass on territoriality, that is, spatial non-consensuality, acquired through relationships with partners who are not linearly related to their offspring. This makes sense since it would benefit a matrilineal line to pass on epigenetic information responsive to a new or changing environment to offspring to increase their adaptability to a new or changing environment. To reiterate, the manner by which this transmission occurs is through expectation matching the spatial non-consensual actor, who is more responsive to changing environments, encoding epigenetic information, which is more recent, into their offspring through archetypal assignments to offspring. In other words, the archetypal assignments preserve the epigenetic plasticity of the more recent partnering, enabling their children to better adapt to new environments, or changing environments. In other words, for any matrilineal archetypal consensual line, as the environment changes, it is in their biological interest to engage with spatial non-consensual actors, whose epigenetic profiles are more recent in changing environments, enabling them to pass on that profile to their offspring, increasing the fitness of those offspring. Thus, non-monogamous or sequential monogamy makes sense in a changing environment, or in new environments, to increase the fitness of offspring from unrelated partners. Thus, there is some element of accuracy to telegony from the standpoint of a maternal line's epigenetics. That's the end of the podcast for today.